Hi everyone, it's me. The year is 2043. Humanity has finally managed to map the ocean floor, but this incredible feat of engineering has unearthed a nightmare from the past, something so terrifying it could rival the kraken or the most fearsome monsters of the deep. Let's dive into Lurker of the Abyss. Coming soon, a man stands at the edge of the dock, staring out at the churning gray sea. Waves crash against the wooden pilings, driven by winds that whip through the rigging of the research vessel bobbing gently in the swells offshore. He takes a deep breath, bracing himself for the familiar lurch in his stomach as he does. This time, it's worse than usual. The fine hairs on the back of his neck stand on end. It can't be, not here, not now. But when he looks out at the water, there it is again. A monstrous shape rising from the depths like the head of a drowned god. One massive eye fixes him with an unnerving stare before disappearing back into the waves. And as the ship pulls into port, he sees it again, this time closer. The dark outline of a colossal form gliding just beneath the surface. What he saw wasn't a whale, not any known species of sea creature. It was something alien, a throwback to a bygone era, a living fossil. The oceans are one of the last great, unexplored frontiers. More than 80% of the world's surface is covered in water, which makes up 97% of all the planet's water, yet we know more about the surface of Mars than we do about our own deep sea. In fact, despite the efforts of intrepid explorers who've mapped the topography of the ocean floor, only a tiny fraction of the ocean has been explored by human hands. Our understanding of marine life is limited mostly to creatures that swim close to the surface, where sunlight penetrates the water column and photosynthesis can occur. But what lies below, in the sunless depths? What creatures haunt the dark abyss? What horrors stir in the trenches, where sunlight never reaches? As technology advances, we learn more about the ocean's mysterious depths. But these discoveries come with a catch. For every new marvel unveiled, lurking just beyond our understanding is something more sinister, something that haunts the darkest recesses of the Mariana Trench. To explore this uncharted territory, we must first venture into the deep ourselves, braving the crushing pressures, freezing temperatures, and pitch-black darkness to uncover what secrets lie hidden below. You may think you know what lurks in the abyss, but what if your knowledge is incomplete, overshadowed by shadows and what if there are things down there that defy our understanding of biology, physics, and the laws of nature itself? The Mariana Trench is the deepest part of the Earth's oceans, stretching over 2,500 kilometers in length. This croissant-shaped depression is one of the most remote places on Earth. At its lowest point, Challenger Deep, the trench plunges to a depth of nearly 11 kilometers. There, the pressure is more than 1,000 times that of the surface, equivalent to stacking 50 jumbo jets on top of each other. The temperature hovers around the freezing mark, making it uninhabitable for most life forms. Yet despite these extreme conditions, a thriving ecosystem exists in the Mariana Trench. Bioluminescent fish with huge eyes navigate the darkness while giant amoebas and shrimp-like crustaceans sift through the silt for food. And at the very bottom, in a place where no sunlight has ever been, a monstrous predator rules supreme, the Lurker of the Abyss. This creature is unlike anything you've ever seen before. It's a chimeric beast, part prehistoric shark, part colossal squid, with skin like a crocodile's and teeth like daggers. Its massive eye, the size of a car headlight, pierces the darkness, searching for prey. Bioluminescent patterns adorn its body, acting as a lure for unsuspecting victims. And with a single swipe of its massive tail, it can send a shiver through the ocean floor. In the frigid depths of the Mariana Trench, sunlight is a distant memory, and the pressure is enough to crush a human vessel like a soda can. Yet life finds a way to not only survive in these extreme conditions, but to thrive. Among the most bizarre inhabitants of this unforgiving environment are these fish use bioluminescent lures to attract prey, but they're not the only ones. Strange luminous plants have taken root in the abyss, their roots anchoring them to the seabed while their stems reach toward the surface in search of precious sunlight. Creatures such as jellyfish and deep-sea corals drift through the water, their bodies illuminated by the ghostly glow of the trench's flora. But perhaps the strangest of all are the deep-sea shrimp. These scavengers sift through the silt at the bottom of the trench, feeding on the carcasses of dead whales and other large animals that sink to the depths. But this feast comes at a cost. For when the shrimp eat the remains of these creatures, they inadvertently consume plastic and other debris that has also fallen to the bottom of the sea. And as they grow larger, the toxins accumulate in their turning them into what scientists call a Trojan horse for microplastics in the deep sea. As predators feed on the shrimp, the plastic enters their bodies and eventually makes its way into the cells and organs of the deep sea dwellers. And since the trash can't decompose in the cold, dark depths, it will likely remain in the trench for centuries. What's even more disturbing is that the deep sea isn't just a dumping ground for human waste. It's home to a vast array of bizarre and sometimes terrifying creatures. Many of these animals have evolved to survive in the extreme conditions of the deep, including crushing pressures, freezing temperatures, and perpetual darkness. Others have simply found their way down from the surface, while some may have been deposited in the deep sea as a result of the infamous garbage patch. As humans continue to explore the Mariana Trench, we're sure to uncover more strange and wonderful creatures. But we must also be prepared to find things that are truly terrifying. From giant squid to colossal worms, the deep sea is full of surprises. And who knows what other horrors may be lurking in the shadows. The Mariana Trench isn't just a fascinating natural wonder. It's a reminder of the incredible adaptability of life and the mysteries that still remain in our own backyard. But it's also a warning. The deep sea is a fragile ecosystem that's easily disrupted by human activity. And as we continue to explore the depths of our oceans, we must do so with respect and caution. Who knows what we might find down there? When researchers finally managed to lower the unmanned submersible into the deepest parts of the Mariana Trench, they were shocked by what they discovered. Bioluminescent algae and bacteria formed an eerie glow that illuminated the wreck of a long-lost ship. But this wasn't the only thing they found. At the bottom of the trench, nestled among the coral and sponges, was a massive eye. It looked like a car headlight, except it wasn't attached to any vehicle or street lamp. It was free-floating in the darkness, seemingly observing the submersible's every move. Suddenly, the screen flickered and the image froze. The submersible had lost power, and the team on the surface could see nothing but static on their monitors. Had whoever was watching them destroyed their equipment? Did the eye belong to a giant underwater monster? Just then, the screen flickered back to life, and the team saw something even more terrifying. The massive eye was gone, replaced by a dark void that seemed to swallow the light around it. Then, as quickly as it had appeared, the darkness receded, revealing the mangled wreckage of the submersible. The researchers realized with horror that they had stumbled upon the lair of a prehistoric sea monster, a creature so terrifying it had sunk ships and devoured entire crews. But how could this be possible? The Mariana Trench is one of the deepest parts of the ocean, yet the monster's lair was sitting right at the bottom. How had it managed to hide from sonar and other detection methods? And what other dangers lurked in the dark depths? The researchers knew they had to get to the bottom of this mystery, but they needed help. So they turned to an expert in all things creepy and crawly, a man who had spent his life exploring the darkest corners of the natural world. With his help, they set out to uncover the truth about the monster of the Mariana Trench and the secrets it held. Together, they braved treacherous waters and battled fierce storms as they journeyed to the heart of the abyss. But the real horrors lay in wait for them in the darkness below. The discovery of the Mariana Trench has revealed a world that's both beautiful and terrifying. Lush fields of bioluminescent algae, bizarre creatures, and ancient wrecks are just some of the wonders that await those brave enough to explore its depths. However, the trench's most fascinating feature may be its colossal squid, a creature so elusive and mysterious that it's earned the nickname the Kraken. With massive tentacles and eyes the size of basketballs, this massive cephalopod is perfectly adapted for life in the dark depths. But the squid's sheer size and strength make it a formidable predator. And though it's rarely seen by humans, its presence is known through the scars it leaves on its prey. But the Mariana Trench has another secret, a horrifying one that's only just being uncovered. Deep in the trench's darkest depths, a new species has been found, one that combines the features of prehistoric sharks and gigantic squids. With razor-sharp teeth and skin like a crocodile's, this monstrous hybrid is unlike anything seen before. Known locally as the lurker of the abyss, this creature is perfectly camouflaged against the trench's dark walls, making it almost invisible to predators. And though it's incredibly elusive, its massive size and strength mean that it's a force to be reckoned with. The discovery of the lurker of the abyss has sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Some believe it could be the key to unlocking the secrets of evolution, while others fear that it could be a sign of even more terrifying creatures lurking in the depths. It's clear that the Mariana Trench is a place of beauty and terror in equal measure. But as we continue to explore its depths, we'll undoubtedly uncover even more secrets. And who knows what other horrors may be hiding in the darkness. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the story, please don't forget to support us. Until next time, stay safe and keep exploring the unknown.